Alright guys, welcome back to something I have not done in a very long time. This is the visual novel Tsukihime. We're going to be starting with the Akiha route today. I know it's been forever since I've done this, and it feels really weird coming back to it. I wasn't exactly sure where I should pick up with this, since this isn't like Fate Stay Night, and we can just, skip certain scenes, and it'll take us right into the scenes we haven't been to before that leads us into a route. But here, I think this is where we're going to pick up, because this is where things are about to get interesting. Shiki just heard footsteps downstairs, and he's not sure what they are, and he thinks there might be a burglar in the house. So this, I think, is where the route's going to kind of officially start. And yeah, this is going to be an interesting route to say the least, because like I said before, the Akiha route and the Hisui and Kohaku routes are not anything like the near side routes that we've been doing, which is Akiha and CL. It is nothing like those routes. So prepare to be, I guess, surprised, because this is going to be really different. Again, it's just kind of strange coming back to this, because I'm so used to there being like voice acting like there is in Fate Stay Night, but I forget that there's no voice acting here, so excuse me if I might be a little rusty and not really as good as I used to be in kind of acting out the voices and everything, because it's been so long since I've played this. But I am glad to be back to it. We are going to be returning to this, doing this fairly regularly now. So that all being said, let's get on with it. I hear it again. Inside the mansion? From the lobby? Could it be a burglar? It's not it's not impossible. I was about to say it's not possible. The mansion's contents are outrageously valuable. On top of that, with no one here now except Kohaku-san, Hisui, Akiha, and myself, it's very insecure. Getting out of bed, I slip out of the room quietly. Okay, that music sounds really bad. If it's a burglar, Akiha and everyone will be in danger, so I can't let this one go. I'll just look down from the second floor into the lobby. That should be safe enough. Unless he has a gun and he sees you and then he shoots you in the head or something. There's nothing wrong there. I'm not so sure. No, someone's there. The figure that enters from the entrance whoa! Okay, what the fuck was the figure that enters from the entrance and crosses the lobby with wobbling, uncertain steps is Akiha? She's not going to her own room on the second floor, but to the first floor of the west wing. The only things there are Kohaku-san's room and my own band's room. What's she doing at this time of night? Maybe she's just drunk. She looked kinda drunk. Or just drugged. I can murmur all I want, but I won't be getting any answers. After gazing at the lobby for a while, I decide to return to my room. Yeah, that's perfectly normal. She's just sleepwalking. Well, she probably had something to do, or went to see Kohaku-san. Well, you might be right about the last part there, but the thing is about what she saw Kohaku-san about. I feel bad about sneaking around and watching her, and I don't want to just ask her about everything she does. Well, I can't really help it. I mean, you kind of heard her walking around at night. Considering this is the person that said, oh, you shouldn't be in the mansion past this ridiculous, 8 p.m. curfew that I have? Or, well, no, wait, no, not 8 p.m. It was 10 p.m. curfew. You can't walk around in the mansion past 10 p.m. Fucking hypocrite. Sleep. There's school tomorrow. Yeah, just forget about it. I bury myself in bed and close my eyes. As I fall asleep, my thoughts keep returning over and over to Akiha's hollow-eyed figure in the lobby, and how something seemed wrong. Inversion Impulse, second day. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden, a deep forest. The house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world, which would take days to explore. Every day was fun. No one thought about ever growing up, and we believed that days and nights would always be the same. It was just a childhood spent playing like puppies. We got along wonderfully, and were the best of playmates. Whenever I turned back, Akiha would be there, waving her hands and hiding shyly. Yes, always the same. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden, a deep forest. The house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world, which would take days to explore. Wait a minute, I've read this already. I think Shiki's just going insane. Good morning. I hear an unfamiliar voice. All right. I remember I gave Hisui this like robotic sort of voice. I guess we'll just give her a voice with no emotion, which pretty much is what her character is like, at least from what I've seen of her. The dream disappears, and all that remains is the feeling of my languid, waking body. It is morning. Oh, it is morning. Time to wake up, Shiki-sama. An unfamiliar voice greets me. Stop calling me Shiki-sama already. I told you yesterday, it sends chills down my back. I wake up. Hisui stands far from the bed like a statue. Where am I? Good morning, Shiki-sama. A girl in a maid uniform bows. Yeah, I came home. Right. I push myself up and look around the room. Although it doesn't feel like home. Good morning, Hisui. Thanks for coming to wake me. There is no need to thank me. It is my duty to come and wake you, Shiki-sama. Hisui answers indifferently, completely expressionless and emotionless. Really? Okay then. Even in an unfavorable light, I think Hisui's features are beautiful. I don't know, she just reminds me of a doll, just because she has absolutely no emotion and no expression on her face. It should be wonderful for such a girl to wake me every morning, but as Hisui never smiles, I don't feel happy about it. What a shame. If Hisui only had half of Kohaku's brightness, she would be really cute. Do you need something? Realizing I'm looking at her, Hisui stares straight back at me. No, nothing at all. Waking up with you there makes me feel like I'm really at the Tono mansion. Now then. Getting off the bed, I stretch out both arms. Shiki-sama, there is no time. From the mansion to your school is a 30-minute trip. This leaves only 20 minutes for breakfast. Huh? It's already 7 o'clock? I gasp in amazement after looking at the clock. My repeated awakenings last night must have messed up my sleep pattern. Your uniform is folded and awaits you over there. Please come to the sitting room after you have changed. Damn it. If you're going to wake me up earlier. Muttering selfishly to myself, I reach for the uniform. It's folded neatly and the shirt has even been ironed. Passing my wrists through the sleeves feels good. It's that fresh, brand new feeling. Akiha and Kohaku-san are relaxing in the sitting room. Akiha is wearing the uniform of the Asagami Ladies Academy, a famous school for young girls. A prestigious girls' school. They're drinking tea together gracefully, as if breakfast ended a long time ago, probably because it did. You're late, motherfucker. Greet Akiha, greet Kohaku-san, greet both of them. Well, since this is the Akiha route... fuck, hold on a minute. We might as well save. We might as well do that, because we've gotten into a habit with that from, Fate's Day Night. I'm not sure which save is the one that we did after we completed CL's route. I'm gonna go with this one. Let's just go with that. Alright, greet Akiha. Let's greet her, because this is her route, so obviously. Hey. Good morning, Akiha. Good morning, Nissan. Good morning, Shiki-san. Breakfast is ready in the dining hall. Please eat up. I remember I gave Kohaku like this voice that was like really enthusiastic about everything. Just really energetic, because that's how Kohaku sort of came off to me. And I think I gave Akiha a really bitchy tone, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna give her that kind of tone of voice again. Depends on what she says. In contrast to Akiha, Kohaku-san greets me with a cheerful smile. Thank you very much. It looks like you're having your after-meal tea. Have you already finished breakfast, Akiha? Of course. I don't care when you get up, Nissan, but please at least make some time for breakfast. Having breakfast after 7 is a sign of sloppiness. Jesus Christ, well I get up at 10, she'd probably hate me. I think having breakfast at 7 is perfectly normal. What time do you get up, Akiha? I think she says you get, 5 in the morning. Jesus Christ. How do you live? I get up at 5 in the morning. What about it? Wow. I don't know why she gets up so early, but it was so perfect a time to get up that I have no room to retort. Besides, your school is 30 minutes from here on foot, isn't it? Please don't be late to school that's so close by. It'd be an embarrassment. Ugh. Akiha's words are filled with thorns that stab me. But as it's the truth, there's no opening for a counter-argument. Akiha-sama? It's almost time to leave. Is that alright? I know. Sheesh, don't be so worried over stuff like this on the first day. Muttering some complaints, Akiha stands up. Well, I must say goodbye. Nissan, you should apply yourself to your studies today. Akiha leaves the sitting room. Kohaku-san follows, seeing her off. Apply myself to my studies? She's quite ceremonious about trivial things in an old-fashioned kind of way. I guess it's because she's been disciplined under our old man for the last 8 years. Well, I'd have gone to school even if she hadn't said anything. I scratched my cheek. There's something about Akiha's face as she left. Because of it, I paid no attention to all her various admonishings this morning. Of course. I clapped my hands together. For some reason, Akiha's face just then seemed to resemble her face from long ago. Oh, I guess then he would have been like, of course! Of course! Like M. Bison. After eating the breakfast Kohaku-san prepared, I exited into the lobby. Hisue was waiting there with my bag. Shiki-sama, have you enough time? Yeah, it should be only 20 minutes to school if I run. It's only 7:30, so I should be fine even if I take the long way. Seeming satisfied with this answer, Hisue bows her head in assent. Then, allow me to see you out. Huh? Yeah, thank you. I still feel terribly awkward having my own servant. Oh, Shiki-san! Please wait just a moment. With pattering footsteps, Kohaku-san runs down from the second floor. Hisue steps back and falls silent as Kohaku-san approaches. Huh? Weren't you with Akiha? Lady Akiha goes to school by car. Since I have something to give you this morning, I stayed behind. Something to give me? Yes. This came from the Arma family yesterday. Kohaku-san smiles. Huh? But I have all my luggage already. The things I used while I was at the Arma's house all belong to them, so all I've got are my own clothes. Really? But this was sent here nonetheless. Kohaku-san hands me a thin wooden box, perhaps 20 centimeters long. It's not heavy at all. Kohaku-san, I've never seen this before. Well, apparently it was left by your departed father. It was to be given to you in the will. By my old man? I can't feel anything about that. What's the old man who expelled me from this mansion 8 years ago doing leaving me things? Oh well. Kohaku-san, please take it to my room for me. Kohaku-san is staring intently at the wooden box. She seems almost like a child who wants a toy. Stare. No, she is a child. I get it. You want to know what's inside, right? Oh, no, not at all. I merely wondered for a moment. Like I said, you do wonder what's inside. Alright, let's open it. 1, 2, 3! With a dry sound, the wooden box opens. Inside, there is a 10-centimeter bar of thin iron. It's an iron bar. Undecorated and worn, it has finger marks all over it. The old man must have really hated me to leave me a piece of junk like this. No, Shiki-san, it's a fruit knife. Kohaku-san takes the iron bar out of the box. See, isn't it one of those folding knives? 1, 2, 3! With the sound of sliding metal, a 10-centimeter blade pops out from the bar. I see, it certainly is a knife. It's old, but seems pretty solid. The year and era it was made is written on the back. Kohaku-san replaces the blade and hands over the knife. Certainly, there's a number written on the grip. The character 7, and under it the character Knight. Nei-san, there is no era by that name. It just says Nanatsu Yoru. Ah! I turn around in surprise. Hisue, who had been silent until now, was looking at the knife over my shoulders. You surprised me, Hisue. You should say something. You don't have to look over my shoulder like that, you know. If you want to see it, I'll show it to you. Hisue's cheeks become faintly red. Please excuse me. That knife was so beautiful that I could not help myself. Beautiful? You really think it's beautiful? It looks kind of beat up to me. Not at all. The tempering of the blade is masterful. I think it is a knife with its own proper history. Really? It just looks like a piece of junk. But since Hisui seems so convinced, I begin to feel the same thing. In its own way, I guess it's not such a bad inheritance. 7 nights? Maybe that's the name of the fruit knife. Maybe, though I can't imagine him naming a knife like that. Whatever the case may be, it's obvious that it's an antique. Well, in any case, I believe in taking what's given to me. I replaced the blade and put the knife in my trouser pocket. Shiki-sama, have you enough time? I have to get going. Well, Kohaku-san, thanks for the delivery. Kohaku smiles and waves me off. I come out to the gates. Hisui follows in silence. Hisui, you're seeing me off? Hisui nods wordlessly. Shiki-sama? What time shall we expect your return? It seems Hisui will continue to use Sama to the bitter end. Well, if I take time to argue it now, I'll be late for school. I'll complain about the honorific later. Shiki-sama? Yeah. Probably around 4 o'clock, I think. I don't do any club activities. When I don't hang around with Arihiko, I usually get back pretty early in the evening. Hisui bows deeply at my random estimate. I understand. Please take care on the way. I'm not sure what to take care about, but she's probably just worried about my health. Yeah, thanks. You too, Hisui. I returned the goodwill with good intentions. With an energetic wave of the hand at Hisui, I leave the gates of the mansion behind. I go down the hill. Since I've attended school from the Arma's house up until now, this is my first time taking this route. Not many from our school. Apparently, there are not many people from my school who live around here. 7:30 in the morning. I can't see anyone running along the streets in a school uniform except me. Slowly, I begin to see some people in school uniforms intermingled with the crowd. This is around where the road to school begins. Where's Yumizuka-san? Well, I'm not going to be that lucky. I recall the smiling face of the classmate who departed here yesterday saying, "My house is this way." Oh, that's right. Another thing you guys missed, or well, not really missed because we did this in another route too, is us talking to Yumizuka. I think we did this in the first 2 routes actually, is when we go home to the Tono mansion, we talk with Yumizuka about, like, us saving her and why she has a crush on us. As I think of Yumizuka Satsuki in the classroom, my pace quickens a little and I hurry towards the classroom. So sad how there couldn't have been a Yumizuka out here, because I did like Yumizuka, the short time we did know her. I leave the residential area and reach the crossroads. The gates will be closed in about 10 minutes. I start to run across the asphalt. I made it. It seems like it took 20 minutes rather than 30 from the mansion. I'll need to leave around 7 if I want to go slowly, since I ran several times on the way. Shiki, you act as if we make these decisions for you. Well, we make some of your decisions for you, but not all of them. When I get to the classroom, I notice the air is buzzing. Although the classroom in the morning is always noisy, there's something different about the noise today. I walk to my desk by the window. Arihiko is waiting there silently. Arihiko, did something happen? Dunno. It's nothing big. There's a rumor that someone in class ran away from home. Ah, that's what all the fuss is about then. I sit down at my desk with a sigh. What do you mean nothing big? Who ran away? Who? How should I know? But we'll know when homeroom starts. Whoever's seat is vacant, they must be the one who ran away from home. Ah, that's true. It's true, but Arihiko's attitude seems a little dry. If one of our classmates has really run away from home, I think it's a bit much just to ignore it as someone else's problem. Arihiko? Aren't you being insensitive? One of our classmates ran away from home, aren't you worried? Eh? You're the only one who's seriously worried, dumbass. Everyone's talking about it because it's an interesting thing to talk about. It's not as if you and I had run away from home, so there's no need to worry, is there? Now I remember. This guy's called like that to everyone except his friends. Though, I guess I am a bit worried. Running away from home at a time like this, they'd have to be really brave or really... A time like this? What kind of time is that? I told you yesterday, Tono. There's a serial killer going around the streets right now. I don't know who ran away from home, but they'd have no excuse if they got attacked by him while living on the streets. Can't be. There's no way that'd happen. Tono, you should watch TV more. There's been 8 victims already, and he doesn't discriminate. You'd better think again if you think you're safe. The town's empty at night nowadays. The only people who go out are the drunkards and policemen, which is why it's so boring. Arihiko's voice is very serious. Hearing it, I begin to feel uneasy. Oh, Kunafuji's here. It's homeroom at last. Arihiko returns to his seat. After a while, everyone is seated. Only one seat is empty. There's no mistaking it. The desk of Yumizuka Satsuki is empty. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. Yumizuka said that when we partied yesterday. I don't know what happened at home, but I can't see her making that smiling face before running away. Yumizuka's absent. Yumizuka Satsuki is merely treated as absent as attendance is taken. As if nothing is amiss, homeroom proceeds. Ask about Yumizuka or sit there silently. I believe we are going to ask about Yumizuka here. I'll be honest, guys, I was reading a guide because sometimes it's not really obvious what you're supposed to do. But, I think we're going to ask about Yumizuka. I'm not sure if we did that in the other routes either. I think we just sat there silently in the other routes, or I don't even know if it gave us this option, really. I don't know, it might have. I know Yumizuka was smiling yesterday. I didn't think she could make such a face, say bye-bye, and then run away from home. Sensei. What is it, Tono? A question? Yes. Is it true that a student in our class has run away from home? Instantly, the air in the classroom solidifies. He frowns, then, with a difficult expression, bows his head in assent. Yes, that is what we've heard from Yumizuka Satsuki's parents. Yumizuka didn't come home last night, but they've been searching, and I'm sure they've already found her. Saying so, he departs. The classroom becomes noisy again. I have a bad feeling about this. It's really heavy. A terrible feeling as if my body is tied down to this chair. This chair. I still feel down even when lunchtime arrives. While the news of Yumizuka Satsuki running away from home was shocking, it seems that it wasn't a topic that could last forever. The classroom is just like always, and it seemed that I'm the only one troubled by our absent classmate. Toto, let's go get lunch. That's okay. I don't really feel like it. I guess it can't be helped. Don't be troubled with other people's problems too much. Other people's problems, huh? Arihiko's words are too close to the truth. Huh? You're not with Inoue-kun today? Senpai, what are you doing in our classroom? Well, I thought I'd have lunch with you guys. Tono-kun, aren't you going to eat something? Senpai sits down at the desk, looking at me anxiously. Nah, I just don't seem to have any appetite today. Ah, are you not feeling well? Something like that. Don't worry about me. You go on to the dining hall. Arihiko's probably already there. Oh, you're not energetic at all. I don't know what happened, but if you don't eat lunch, you'll just feel even worse. That's true. But since I'm not hungry, there's not a lot I can do. Alright, I'll take you somewhere special. It's really a secret, but you're special, Tono-kun. With that, she grabs my arm and pulls me out of the chair. CL-senpai takes me to an unused classroom at the very corner of the school building. Huh? This is a Japanese-style room, isn't it? Oh, I know where she's taking us. This is the tea ceremony room. That's right. It's very relaxing since no one else is here. Well, that's true, but isn't this place locked, senpai? Yes. It's usually only open to members of the tea ceremony club, so normal students can't get in. We're gonna break the door down! Saying so, she takes a key out of her pocket. Oh. Are you in the tea ceremony club, senpai? Yes. Well, actually, I'm the only member. With a laugh, senpai goes into the Japanese-style room. I know the tea ceremony club is like a common thing in Japan. I don't really even know what they do. Apparently they just fucking sit there and drink tea. And sometimes they organize events. That's the only thing I've gathered from it. They organize events and they drink tea with other people, and that's literally all they do. The inside of the room feels special, as if it isn't part of the school. The sensation of the tatami mat and the sunlight shining through the windows feels very relaxing. As I said earlier, I'm the only member in the tea club. Thanks to that, I can use this place freely during lunchtime and after class. Here. Laughing, senpai lays out the cushions. How did they not shut you down if you're the only member of the club? I'll make some tea now, so please wait right there, Tono-kun. Senpai heads toward the sink to prepare tea. There's no point in standing up, so I do as I'm told and sit down on the cushion. Perhaps it was the magic of the Japanese-style room. The chaotic maelstrom that had been raging in my chest calms down, and now I can finally begin to think calmly about what has happened with Yumizuka. Thanks for waiting. Here you are. Now, let's have some lunch. Actually, I have some things to ask you, so it's just as well we're having lunch here. You have something to talk to me about? Puzzled, I drink the tea I'm offered. Motherfucking tea. As I'm in the Japanese-style room, my posture reflexively straightened and my mind has become tranquil. Although I had no connection to it, the Arima family heads a tea ceremony school. Perhaps it was because I had been raised in that kind of environment that I feel more at ease in the Japanese-style room than a Western-style one. Senpai looks at me with a troubled expression. What's wrong, Senpai? You look a bit worried. I was just a little surprised at how calm you were about all of this, Tono-kun. Really? Well, my family is a strict one, so I'm used to these kinds of things. More importantly, Senpai, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to me about? I do. The continuation of what we were talking about earlier. What we were talking about earlier? You mean about my family? Senpai nods to indicate a yes. If you don't mind, I would like to hear more about it. I was curious about it since we stopped halfway. It's not that I mind, but hearing about my family isn't very interesting. It'd be a waste of time. I don't mind if it's not interesting, I just want to hear about it. You sure are eccentric, Senpai. Maybe I am, Senpai laughs. Alright then, let's continue from before. You said you moved to your home. What do you mean by that? Senpai asks, full of curiosity. Well, the conversation back then must have been pretty fragmented for Senpai, since she doesn't know any of the circumstances. Let's see. Basically, I'm a guy who's been disinherited. I was seriously injured after getting caught up in a traffic accident when I was 9 years old. The injuries themselves somehow healed, but after that I easily collapsed from anemia and threw up my food. That's why I was entrusted to my relatives, the Arimas, while I recuperated. So in other words, the Arimas have been your parents who raised you since you were 9, right? That's right. I knew my old man hated me for some reason, and that once I've been entrusted to the Arimas, I would never go back home. Go back to the Tono mansion, that is. That's why, well, I thought I'd just continue to live as a son of the Arimas forever. That's what I thought, but my old man kicked the bucket recently. That's when they told me to return to the mansion, now that my old man is no longer there, and I finally agreed to them. And that, pretty much is my domestic situation. I end my story like that. CL Senpai gives a little nod silently. May I just ask one thing? Sure, if I can answer it. Go ahead. Alright then, I'll ask. Did you dislike your previous family? My previous family, the Arimas who had raised me as my parents? My mother and my father weren't my real parents, and the unfamiliar building which without a doubt was home to strangers. But completely regardless of that, no, I liked them. They were people who didn't care that I wasn't related to them by blood. They were so warm to me that I felt bad about being depressed all by myself, and for them to love me no matter what, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I was loved by those people. That's why soon, even one day sooner, I have to truly become family to them. I've been telling myself those words since I was young. Since a very, very long time ago. Over and over, I swore, till I would practically pass out. Just like Arihiko said, I didn't have a single complaint about the Arima family. They treated me well, and I think I responded to their affection too. Between us, even though I knew we were just playing at being family, even if it was all just an act, I didn't feel any pain. No, I was happy instead. In a way, I had considered the Arima parents and me to be the ideal nuclear family. But it was no good, was it? Yeah, despite everything, there was a line I couldn't cross. This isn't your real family. No matter what I did, I couldn't get those words out of my head. I knew I should have been ignoring it, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know if you'd call it a childhood experience, but it had already become like a curse to me. Somehow, no matter where I was, I felt like a stranger to my family. Senpai is silent. Avoiding my gaze, she huddles her shoulders apologetically. See? It was boring after all, right? That's why I said it would be a waste of time. No, that's not true. It was a very meaningful story. Saying that, Senpai begins to eat her own lunch. I follow her example and start nibbling off the bread I had bought. Thanks to my conversation with Senpai, my appetite has returned. Despite that, I still couldn't even finish half of it. So, Tono-kun, is anything troubling you right now? Why that all of a sudden? I don't have any worries in particular. Then I suppose the reason you aren't eating much is because of your health. Senpai stares at me. Somehow, her gaze feels very penetrating. It feels difficult to remain silent under a gaze like that. I don't have any worries, but Senpai, what do you think of the recent killings? I can't help but ask. The stories about my classmate who hasn't returned home won't leave my mind. Killings? Oh, you mean that business about the vampires? Yes. There's already been 8 victims, right? I haven't caught the news lately, so I'm not too sure about this subject. Do you know anything, Senpai? Well, I know as much as anyone else does, but no, not the details. It's just that the word vampire sends chills down my spine. Ah, you mean how it seems the victims have had their blood drained. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what it could mean. Who knows? It's impossible to know how such people think. But I wonder why they've nicknamed him the vampire. Didn't Shiki just say it was probably because he drains his victims of blood? I would assume that's why he's nicknamed the vampire. What an odd question. Well, isn't it because of the blood that was drained from the bodies? Yeah, he just mentioned that. It'd only be natural to call them vampires, wouldn't it? Do you know the folklore about vampires, Tono-kun? Suddenly breaking into a smile, Senpai asks an even stranger question. Vampire folklore? You mean how people who have their blood sucked by vampires become vampires themselves? Yes. If that was true, there shouldn't be any bodies left, right? Supposing some vampire was the killer, there'd be no bodies, Tono-kun. I see. That's true, but it's just a nickname, isn't it? Do you really believe in vampires, Senpai? Not at all. After all, the fact that the bodies are there show that it's not a vampire, right? Smiling, Senpai gives a reply that seems slightly off the point. But couldn't you also think of it this way? Maybe the victims whose bodies have been found died because they couldn't become vampires. Perhaps there are those who can be turned and those who can't. The people who can become vampires won't have their corpses found even if they were attacked by vampires. Because even now, they're still alive, out there somewhere. But those who can't become vampires just die, so their bodies wind up being found. Well, that's oddly specific. Senpai is still smiling. I know it's only a joke, but I'm having difficulty laughing it off. Maybe because it's true. Oh, I'm just joking. Not really, though. It'd be like some kind of horror story if that were really true. I don't like scary stories, so please don't ask me things like that. But this is kind of a horror game now, isn't it? What? It looked to me like you were really getting into it, Senpai. Yes, I don't like scary stories, but I do like scaring you, Tono-kun. Did I do something to make her bear a grudge against me? You bumped into me that one time. Fuck you, Tono, I'm gonna get you. But all jokes aside, Tono-kun, lately the streets have become dangerous at night. You mustn't go out, even though you are an energetic young man. Senpai gives me a warning that sounds like a joke. I can't tell how serious she is. Who the hell says that? You're an energetic young man. Fuck you. You're a fucking teenager too. Don't act like you're older than us. Well, actually, never mind. She's like 1,000 years old. I forgot. Well, not 1,000 years old. She's immortal. Arkwade is 1,000 years old. And also immortal. Lunch break ends, and the 5th period starts. The lesson on classics goes in one ear and out the other. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. That's what Yumizuka said. She wouldn't say that and run away from home. I have a bad feeling about this. The killer who wanders the town at night. It's dangerous to go out at night, the word Senpai said. Perhaps it was because of that red imagery surrounding us when we parted. Suddenly, a vision of Yumizuka Satsuki soaked in red blood appears before my eyes. Gah! It happens suddenly. My vision goes white and my sense of balance reels. My field of view lurches. Something lurks in the back of my head and my consciousness feels heavy. This is bad. I know this feeling. Sudden dizziness prior to my anemic attack. The blood accumulated in my brain's blood vessels becomes a black lump, making my head sway, and my vision will go pitch black. It feels as if the blackness is pushing its way out of my brain and into my eyeballs. This is bad. I haven't been collapsing during class lately. Red. Is it because Yumizuka's blood red image is too fresh in my mind? My vision distorts, and as darkness envelops it, I somehow grab onto my desk. But it's useless. There's no strength in my fingers. I fall towards the floor. As I do, I remember her words. Tono-kun, help me when I'm in a pinch, okay? I told you that's impossible. Whatever you may think of me, I'm not Superman. Sorry for dragging you along with me, Arihiko. Yeah, I'm used to you collapsing without warning like that. Honestly, sleeping in the infirmary up to the very last minute. Just who do you think you are? You should have woken me up. There's nothing conscientious about letting me sleep until they lock us in the building. Shut up! You think I'm going to wake up a sick person? You just collapse again. Come on, we need to get back. It's already 7, you know. Arihiko walks down the corridor. After that, I collapsed from anemia and was left to sleep in the infirmary. Time passes until school lockup time at 6:30 when I was awoken by Arihiko's punch. And so, we came to be walking along the deserted corridor. Hey, come on, Tono. What are you doing? Sorry, I'm coming. I shake my still woozy head and follow Arihiko. Alright, you can go home by yourself from here. See you at school tomorrow. Thanks. Sorry as always, Arihiko. Don't worry, pay me back in double in the future. Arihiko's answer isn't exactly in proper Japanese. Smiling wryly to myself, I decide to head back to my own house. Uh-oh. I think I know what's coming. I reach the intersection. It's still 7 in the evening, but there's no one around. I guess because of the killer, fewer people go out at night. The only figure I can see now is the back of a woman, far away. A blonde? The distant woman seems to be a foreigner. Even from far away, I can see her golden hair rippling as she walks. It draws my eyes after her. Even though I only see her from behind, I can tell she's beautiful. Thump. Suddenly, my heart pounds loudly. My throat becomes inexplicably dry and parched. I break out in a cold sweat. My head aches. It's not like the anemia earlier. Rather than fading, my consciousness becomes sharper. I gasp. That back. Watching the woman's golden hair, my head hurts terribly. My thoughts feel like they're melting into a haze. I will follow behind her and then... What am I going to do after that? The woman disappears into a group of apartments in the shopping district. I have to follow. I don't know why, but I think that. My legs move on towards the apartments. But, before that... Cockblock! Only for an instant. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the figure of Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka-san? My head becomes clear. Yumizuka. It was only for an instant, but without a doubt, that was Yumizuka. Was she going towards town? What's she doing out at a time like this? I was so mad I didn't care if she disappeared or if she ran away from home. It's too dangerous for a girl to walk around town at night alone. Yumizuka walks through the crowded town. She's so far away, I'm not certain. But even if I've mistaken her, I decided to run after her and tell her to stop. Wait, Yumizuka-san! I shout, chasing after her. Yumizuka glances back as if she heard my voice. That face. There's no confusing it. The girl walking ahead of me is unmistakably Yumizuka Satsuki, and the expression on her face wasn't frightening. But I feel a chill run through my spine. Thump. My heart beats quickly. The back of my head becomes heavy and my throat burns. An ache assaults my head, just as it did with the blonde woman earlier. What is this? It's weird. The inside of my body is burning. I feel dizzy as if I'm in the grip of a terrible fever. In that moment, Yumizuka begins to walk again. Wait! Yumizuka-san! I call out, running. Yumizuka walks on, not turning. Can't you hear me, Yumizuka? I urge my hot body onwards. But no matter how much I try, I can't catch her. No matter how fast I run, I can't catch up to her even as she walks. Something is strange. I know that, but I can't tell what it is. Right now, all I can do is follow Yumizuka Satsuki. And then, I lose sight of her. Yumizuka Satsuki, whom I'd been chasing without success, is nowhere to be seen. Shit. What the hell's going on? I stop, catching my breath. My chest heaves deeply. Though I hadn't realized it until now, I must have been running for a long time. What time is it? Resting my hands on my knees, I glance up at a nearby store window. It's already midnight. It can't be. I couldn't have been running for that long. It's hard to believe, but the clock is correct. Looking around, most of the shopping district is closed. I should go back. Even though I'm worried about Yumizuka, I feel like I won't be able to find her anymore. I chased her for almost 4 hours, calling her name all this time, but she didn't even respond. What was she thinking? With a big sigh, I head back to the mansion. There's no one around. The shopping district still had some people, but the way back to the mansion should be completely empty. The words serial killer run through my mind. Midnight. Walking through town alone. I might be an easy prey for such an attacker. A sound. Somewhere behind a building, there is a sound. I think it is the sound of someone falling. The back alley? The noise came only once. An eerie silence surrounds me. I have a bad feeling about this. Did someone collapse in the back alley? Did the wind just knock something over? Whatever it was, I probably shouldn't get involved. But is it because I was looking for Yumizuka a while ago? I feel like she's there for some reason. What should I do? There's no one around. The only help I can rely on is this knife Kohaku-san handed me this morning. Oh no. Well, I might as well save here and see what's up, I guess. Go and look, or don't go and look. Well, like I said, guys, I sort of read a guide here just to be sure we got into the Akiha route properly, and I think I remember what we need to do here, and what we need to do here is something incredibly stupid, and go look and see what's going on. I can't ignore my feelings. With the killer skulking around town at night looking for victims, I shouldn't be investigating suspicious sounds in alleyways. Yeah, you shouldn't be. Probably get killed, but we are the protagonist, and we have to get into dangerous situations, so... But I still remember Yumizuka's smiling face from yesterday. There's no reason for Yumizuka to be there. But if she is, she might need my help. I'll never forgive myself if I just ignore this. Well, that is kind of a good point. Alright. Putting my hand in my pocket, there is a cold touch of iron. Even though I don't intend to use it, it's comforting to know that I'm not unarmed. And if it comes to it, I have my eyes too. Sensei said not to use them recklessly, but she'll find it acceptable if I use it against a killer. The sound. It came from here. Preparing myself, I step into the alley. Thump. My heart pounds. The back alley is quiet. The noise came from the open area at the far end. Thump. The back of my head hurts. As if convulsing under the utmost strain, my racked spine hurts as if it's about to rip itself out of my body. Thump. What is it? Why is it? I can't think, yet my instincts shout at me. Thump. Don't go. Don't go any further. If you do, you won't be able to come back. Thump. But it's already too late. I step out of the back alley and into the open space. That weak voice is all I can get out. The back alley is a single sheet of crimson. Limbs are strewn amongst the garbage and rubble. Not the limbs of dogs or cats or the like. They are human limbs, blood dripping from fresh meat and bone. The ground and the walls are painted with red blood. A heavy scent fills my nostrils, thick, like a red fog permeating my body, the choking smell of blood. A face, a face, a face, a face on a severed head, rolling around with an expression of agony. A face shriveled up like a mummy, split in halves. A face with both eyes gouged out, so distorted I can't even tell if it used to be a man or a woman. Unable to make a sound, I merely gaze speechless at the corpses. No, They can't even be called human bodies anymore. Even a badly made sculpture looks better than this. There are 4 bodies. They roll around like scraps of leftover food. I gape in shock at the sea of bodies. The back of my head throbs, my throat is parched, and my breath burns like fire. My fingertips quiver and my mouth distorts. What is this? What is this world before my eyes? Red. Yes. Before my eyes, everything is that terrible color. But I merely stand. No screaming, no fear. Like the scene of an accident in a movie, I only stare at the back alley. Undoubtedly, this is how my mind is protecting myself. Otherwise, I would have gone mad. A corpse against the wall moves. No, that's wrong. It's not a corpse. It's not like the scrapped hands and feet. It's a living human being with limbs attached. I see something out of place. In this ghoulish spectacle, the response to seeing someone alive is more of astonishment than happiness. But if he's alive, I have to help him. Hello? With my mind still paralyzed, I step towards the living figure. Pulling itself up from the sea, it raises its face towards me. A face like a dried out skull. I leap back reflexively. But the skull moves faster than I do. With a voice crying out, he jumps at me. A hideous voice right next to me. Looking down, there is a large hole in the skull's throat, preventing him from speaking correctly. The dried up face, the dried up arm reaching for me. In the throat of this bag of bones, vocal cords vibrate in accord with the ghastly voice. Desperately, I try to tear him off me, but he merely raises that ghastly voice and will not get off. Rip. Its fingers pierce my shoulder. My body aches from pain. The fingers were like a sharp needle. It shreds my skin mercilessly, scooping out nerves and flesh as it goes. The pain is so great that I can say nothing else. Though I try to tear him off of me screaming, he's too strong. Whatever I do, he does not move. With a crack, the skull's jaw opens. The mouth opens wide enough to rip off my shoulder with a single bite, and he approaches my face as if saying, "I don't want to die. Somebody save me." I can't even say stop. The guy made only of skin and bones tries to bite my head, and suddenly, he collapses. The awesome power vanishes. The bag of bones on a person's form crumples to the ground and disappears. Softly, like a bad dream, it turns to ash and blows away. What the hell is this? Pain runs through my shoulder. My own blood flows down my back. The pain is real. So this must be real. A terrible nightmare. But it can't be a nightmare, because it's not a dream. Tono-kun? It'll be dangerous if you stay there. I turn towards the voice behind me. At the mouth of the alley where I came from, I see Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka? Good evening. Fancy meeting you in a place like this, huh? As if we had merely bumped into each other in the mall, Yumizuka greets me lightheartedly. Yumizuka, what are you doing out at a time like this? Oh, just going for a walk. But what's Tono-kun doing? Killing so many people like this is bad, right? Yumizuka says with a light smile. You know, you shouldn't do things like that. Ripping off people's limbs isn't a good thing. Killing so many people, huh? I look around me, and I remember the tragic scene I'm surrounded by. In a sea of blood, Tonoshiki stands aghast like a murderer. No! This wasn't me! Oh, of course it was. Everyone's dead, and Tono-kun's alive, so obviously Tono-kun must have killed them. No way! It just attacked me. I point at the monster that attacked me moments ago, but nothing's there. Even the ashes of the bones have been blown away by the wind. I swallow my breath. Yumizuka is chuckling. It's not. This wasn't me. My head is paralyzed, and I can only manage broken language. I understand. I can't think clearly, but I can't put my thoughts into words. For example, why is Yumizuka at a place like this after running from home? For example, why is Yumizuka laughing in the face of this tragic scene? Yumizuka-san, Yeah, I know.
You just interrupted someone's meal. I'm sorry for sounding mean. I always act against my feelings, so I'm always acting like this to you. Yumizuka is still laughing. It's so inappropriate for the scene, I feel a chill. Yumizuka doesn't move from the entrance of the alley. Her arms are positioned strangely, as if she's hiding something behind her back. And, looking closer, there are spots of something red on her sleeve. Yumizuka, you... What is it? Your face looks scary, Tono-kun. She laughs again. No. Somehow, this girl cannot be Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka, why are you hiding your hands like that? Ah, have I been found out? I guess you're too observant to miss that, huh? I've always liked that about you, Shiki-kun. After emphasizing the Shiki-kun, she brings her hands out. Oh shit! Look at what I've done! Both hands are dry, dyed crimson. Not yet dry, the blood drips off of them in red droplets. And, proudly, Yumizuka Satsuki is smiling. Yumizuka, your hands! Yeah, I killed those people. What? Oh, but it's okay. I didn't kill them because I hated them. I just needed their blood to live, so I had to kill them. What is this? I don't really understand what Yumizuka is saying. You really killed them, Yumizuka? You wouldn't believe me even if I told you it's a lie, right? Or do you think it's impossible for a girl like me to do such a thing? Her voice laughs softly. I don't believe her. I don't believe her, but she's definitely not telling a lie. This tragic scene. It's all Yumizuka's doing. Why? Such a terrible thing. It's not terrible. Like I said, I didn't kill them because I hated them. There's nothing wrong with killing others in order to live. Is there, Shiki-kun? What? That's absurd. Killing is wrong. No, it's not. But I did do one bad thing. Since today was my first time drinking blood, I let a little of my blood get back into them. Because of that, you got attacked, Shiki-kun. I'm sorry for getting you involved, but we're lucky. It died without being able to finish changing. What are you talking about, Yumizuka? It's okay if you don't understand right now. I don't really understand myself yet, so I can't explain it very well. But I think after a few days I can become like Shiki-kun. Like Shiki-kun, become a great... As she says so, her face distorts in pain. Rasps of agony echo from her throat. Yumizuka chokes up blood. It hurts. I guess even if I'm hungry, I shouldn't just drink blood at random. If it's not good quality, beautiful blood, it won't agree with me. She breaks out into a fit of coughing. She chokes out blood with every cough. Yumizuka's body convulses. I don't really understand. All I know is Yumizuka's in terrible pain. That's all I can clearly understand. Hey, are you okay, Yumizuka? I run towards her to take her hand. No! Don't come any closer, Shiki-kun. But Yumizuka's voice stops me. You mustn't. I'm not entirely okay, Shiki-kun. She speaks painfully, still vomiting red blood. Yumizuka, you... I don't understand. Why Yumizuka's in pain, or why she's like this. What the hell is going on? You said you killed those people, but it's a lie, right, Yumizuka? If you're in that much pain, shouldn't you be in a hospital? I'm fooling myself. Even though I understand Yumizuka brought about this tragic scene, I still lie to myself. Yumizuka, I'm coming over there, okay? I speak gently, but Yumizuka shakes her head in violent refusal. Why? If you're in pain, we have to get you to a hospital right away. Shiki-kun, you're not getting it. You really never understand anything. Idiot! I told you before, I don't understand. Yeah, you did, didn't you? But you're still here. Yumizuka begins to pull away. It hurts, Shiki-kun. She breathes raggedly, coughing up red blood. It hurts. It's cold, and I'm scared. I really want your help right now, Shiki-kun. But it's too early. Saying that, Yumizuka straightens up again. Wait for me, okay? I'll go become a great vampire, then I'll come back and see you. Wait, Yumizuka! Yumizuka is gone. Even as I start to run, Yumizuka is long gone. Her speed is inhuman, like that of a wild beast. Yumizuka, you... What happened to you, really? Yeah! My injured shoulder throbs. When I look back, the open space where all the limbs were scattered only left red blood. The faces, the organs, the hands and feet, they all turned to ashes like the skull did before. Shit! Angrily, I strike the wall. What the hell is going on? I bellow pointlessly, and the alley echoes my voice. The next thing I know, I'm at the gates of the mansion. The wound on my shoulder aches. The lights of the mansion are dark. Somehow, I hadn't realized I would be coming back so late. Akiha. Akiha will surely be angry with me, I think, as I put my hand on the heavy doors. The lobby is empty. So, what should I do? Even though my wound needs treating, Kohaku-san is probably asleep. Nissan? Akiha. I look up in the direction of the voice. Akiha is standing on the stairs. It is you. Coming back so late at night, just what do you think? Akiha reaches the bottom of the stairs, and her rebuke stops. Nissan, where did you hurt your shoulder? Damn it. I had wanted to hide the wound, but it's too late now. No, this is... Never mind. Hold still. Is it only your shoulder? Yes, but how do you know? I can tell with all the blood on your clothes. I'll hear about it later, but right now, we'll treat it. Please forgive me, Nissan. Saying so, Akiha touches my shoulder. My body jumps only at the slight touch of Akiha's finger. It appears that the wound is deeper than I thought. I'm sorry. Did it hurt, Nissan? No, I'd like to say I'm okay, but I guess I'm not. Even a touch is really painful. I see. If it's this deep, I think it is too much for Kohaku. I'll treat it, so please go into the sitting room. Akiha walks upstairs. Phew. I turn on the sitting room lights and sit on the sofa. The wound on my shoulder hurts and begins to become unbearable. Sorry for making you wait. I'll treat the wound, so please relax. Akiha comes in holding the first aid kit. I don't think that would really help on this wound, but I guess I should at least get it disinfected. Akiha moves behind me and begins to treat the wound. The uniform, damp with blood, is cut away with scissors, and the wound is exposed and disinfected. I clench my fists as the pain flashes through my body. But after that, the ache of the wound begins to fade. Akiha must be skilled at medical care, or perhaps the wound wasn't so bad to begin with. After a few minutes, the pain is completely gone. Alright, we're done. I expect a wound like that should be healed by morning. Akiha packs away the first aid kit. Somehow, I'm surprised. I would have expected Akiha to ask where I got injured, and to rebuke me for playing outside so late. You haven't asked, Akiha. I haven't asked about what? Well, you know, why I'm back so late. Why I'm hurt. I blurted out like a complaint. After what happened with Yumizuka, I'm exhausted. And because I'm tired, I said such a thing. Nissan, I think I know the right order for things. Right now, the priority is to tend to your injury. Yeah, I'll bitch at you later. I see. Of course, I see. Oh! What kind of person do you think I was, Nissan? I'm not about to yell at someone who's hurt. You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you for everything. But even though you treated it, you're going to say you can't explain the situation, right? I don't want to listen to your excuses, but today is special. If you do not wish to talk about it, I won't inquire either. Well, at least she knows what we're going to do from the other routes, because I remember in the Arcwade route we were like, oh, well, we can't explain it. Is that okay? I came back so late at night. Certainly, I am curious about what might have happened to you, but I trust you, and I have enough trust to believe you weren't doing something too dangerous. And I can't force someone to talk when they look like that. Akiha looks away shyly. Look like that? Is my expression that bad right now? I'll listen when you have recovered, Nissan. If you rest overnight, your health should improve. Feeling awkward, I look away from Akiha. I'm glad she won't listen to me until I'm better, but I feel like I won't be able to talk about it even in the morning. In the end, I can't tell Akiha anything. I feel too guilty to even look at her face. Akiha, Oh, please don't keep making that face. I told you, I'll make an exception today, so go back to your room and rest, alright? I bet it's something you can't talk to me about anyway. She is surprisingly understanding for once. Having read my expression perfectly, Akiha turns and goes out to the lobby. I can only sit on the sofa and watch her leave. Suddenly, I wonder, was Akiha waiting for my return? Is that how she appeared in the lobby so quickly? Akiha. What is it, Nissan? Thank you for treating me. I'm sorry for making you worry. Suddenly, Akiha stops walking, and then she turns away, and her expression becomes completely blank, and her eyes are soulless. I wasn't worried about you, Nissan. If you've that much energy for flattery, you should concentrate on taking care of yourself. With a crash, she slams the door behind her. Boom. I really don't understand her, but I do understand that she was worried about me. Of course, she's a tsundere. It seems that I wasn't doing something too dangerous, huh? Akiha seems to believe me since she said that. But really, it was a frighteningly dangerous scene. The bodies scattered in the back alley. The figure of Yumizuka, her hands stained red with blood. A chill runs through me just at the memory. I stand up, taking care of my wound, and return to my room. I change clothes and fall onto the bed. But if I close my eyes, I'll see the scene in the back alley. I killed all those people. Yumizuka said so, as if it were nothing. I needed their blood. So she killed them, just like a vampire. Like a bad joke. Wait, okay? I'll become a great vampire. I don't remember. What did Yumizuka say at the end? Huh? Sleepiness fills my body. With Yumizuka's face still etched in my mind, I close my eyes slowly. Only one thing is clear. That Yumizuka told the truth, and she really did slaughter all those people. But even then, instead of fearing everything that happened, I'm more concerned about the one thing she said. It hurts. It really hurts, Tono-kun. There's something wrong with me. Yumizuka is really a murderer, but those words will not leave my mind.